large caramel macchiato with an extra shot and whipped cream, please.
Coming up.
Wait, hold on. How much is that?
$4.85.
Okay, better drop the extra shot. What does that make it?
$4.20.
Better make it a small. What does that make it?
$3.30.
Better drop the whipped cream. What does that make it?
Less calories.
Oh my God, and he flew all the way to New York to tell me that. That's so romantic.
It's beautiful, really.
You're not even allowed to leave the state.
What's that now?
It is the Al Travis Show. We're lucky to have our next guest on. He's Shad Hanley. I got that wrong. Shad Hanley with the Chanhassen Dinner Theater. They're doing Guys and Dolls. Shad, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I would like very much to just let Chris Holland worry now that she's set this whole thing up. I love her at the Chanhassen. She got me Don Shelby, Nancy knows. She sent 25 questions to ask you, and none of them interest me in the least. So we're going to throw those out. Say, I hate you if you practice at all. We're throwing that out. I even found out, this is man to man. I know too much about you. I already know your hair color isn't your hair color. This is the kind of prep that I get, that you're a dark-haired man, but you're playing a blonde, and there you are. You're blonde. Shad, do this for me. Where are you from?
I'm from Duluth. Duluth.
Originally?
Originally, Hermantown High School.
Oh, good for you. And then how do you end up at the Chanhassen? Did you went to school for acting? Did you go to Chicago, New York, something like that? Or you're all in Minnesota?
When I was 18, I moved to New York. I was there in 2000, then again in 2001 for our second year at AMDA, the American Musical Dramatic Academy. And then I stayed in New York for 16 years.
Wow.
Which was stubborn because I don't love New York. I don't like a big city.
You're not allowed to say that, okay? That's ridiculous.
But you know what? But there's trees and there's sky and things that I've needed in my life. So I came back here and found great work at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater. I've been there since 2020.
2020, good for you. So you kind of know how this works. I've used it. I don't know if you heard. I had the best time. I shouldn't say this, but I will. So since we've had the Chanhassen on, my wife goes on a regular. If it shows up, she drives up there, brings a couple friends. She loves the place. I don't know that I've ever been there since 1980. Maybe in high school they did a thing there, right? I have not been there. So I went up because Don's been going up. Don, Shelby's been on the show with me. So we went up here just 2 weeks ago. I brought two friends, my wife and I, and had just the greatest flipping time of all time. All right. The food was good. Had the Chanhassen famous dinner, chicken dinner. Fine. It was outstanding. There were vegetables on the plate. Truth in advertising, I'm not a vegetable guy. But I can see how you're playing to a bigger audience. Some eat vegetables. Fine. Other than that, it was fantastic. Wife had the steak. The cocktails were off the chart. The old fashions were unreal. And the show, I'd say the story. We get through the first half. And at the halftime, when they're bringing us the dessert, chocolate was fantastic. Again, I can't say enough. The women were discussing how this Hallmark movie was going to end. Completely wrong. Not a bit of it right. They're crying at the end. Tears are flying. Stunning show.
Yeah, Love Brothers. It's incredible.
Yeah. So tell me the show I want to get, before we get to your show, but you got to the Chanhassen.
Yeah.
How does the Chanhassen fit you, Shad? I mean, you're on the big stage. Have you done the 100? I mean, you're the 700 or 800 person stage. How is that feel for you?
It's amazing. So first of all, it's like the place is so cool because you come and you like do the most ancient of traditions where you sit down and have a meal and get told a story. And you're in this room with a bunch of other people. You're it's close quarters, but it's expansive around the stage. And so it just feels, it's way different than doing a show in a normal theater where there's just seats facing a proscenium stage.
Yeah.
We're kind of embraced by the audience. Everyone's really up close. And yeah, it does fit 500 some, I think is what it is. And, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels intimate. It feels close. So getting on that stage is always like, it feels like you're a storyteller rather than kind of like removed from the audience. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Oh, I was there with Shelby. It's like, do you want me to turn the page for you? I was right there.
Yeah, you get it. Exactly.
It is that feel. Let me ask you this, though. Are you too personal? Okay. I already know you're blonde and you're not. Can a guy, Shad, make a living doing theater in Minnesota?
Yes, that's actually the craziest thing. So, when I tell my friends from back in New York that, the second show I did at Chanhassen was Footloose, the musical Footloose, that ran for a year. 8 shows a week for a freaking year. It's insane. And I tell people from New York, most Broadway shows don't last a year. It's insane that we can be like out in the middle of we're in a suburb of Minneapolis, and we're able to do 8 shows a week, which is a Broadway schedule for a whole year of Footloose. That's a completely insane prospect. I tell anyone from New York that, and they think I've lost my mind. So yeah, you can. And as an actor, it's the best kind of money I can get, and it's also the best kind of. I'm in the actors union, and so our health weeks come through, how much we work. So if you're doing Footloose for a year, you're racking up the health weeks. It's like this. It's it's my only job. So it's a pretty great life. All
right, we have a couple guys that do local theater that come on the program. We chat with the sports guys, but it doesn't matter. Can a person get to? How do you get to the Carnegie Hall? Practice. Can a person get to Chanhassen without going to New York or Chicago or something? Can you just break into Chanhassen?
Yeah, we have a lot of those actually. This current show, Guys and Dolls, kind of has this. Everyone's in it has kind of a wild resume. There are a few people that didn't go to school for this, who are didn't go and train for this, who show up, and you have like all the right stuff for the right character, and you might not be the person that does every show, back to back to back to back, but yes, definitely there is a.
Well, tell me about Guys and Dolls then, for folks who don't get the play. As I get it, 50 years since I saw the thing, this is fun. This is fun from top to bottom, right? Tell me about Guys and Dolls.
Well, it was produced on Broadway in 1950, and it puts it really close to like our first known musical, Oklahoma. So it's one of our really earliest musicals. And what's so weird about it is that they sort of defined the formula for musical theater, and the jokes are just as funny today as they were then. Like, these audiences are losing their minds for these very, very funny things. It's a crazy story about the crazy things we do for love, how we transform for the people that we want to be with. And that's what's at the heart of it. But overall, it's like a hilarious story about gamblers and the hot box dancers and the pure Christian girl from the mission, the Save a Soul mission. Like, it's taking all the most crazy characters that don't belong in the same world and putting them on the same street, Broadway, and seeing what happens.
And the music is quite entertaining, correct?
Very much. We've got Frank Sinatra's "Luck Be a Lady Tonight." Come on, that's
what I'm saying. It's just classic stuff. Yeah. How much music do you have in your background, or did you before you got on stage? Were you a musical person in high school? Did you do the choir thing? Are you that guy?
I started actually in opera in the kids' choruses up in Duluth. It was right now they have Lyric Opera of the North, Loon Opera up in Duluth. But it used to be Northland Opera Theater Experience, Note Operas. And from my school, from Hermantown, we had like a youth chorus that would go and populate the kids' choruses of La Boheme and Carmen and, all these great old operas. So that sort of was my first introduction when I was 9 or 10 or something like that. And then I did community theater and realized that's what I wanted to do. Went to school, trained for it, and then did some tours and some shows out in New York. And now I'm here.
And now I suppose up at the Loon, if that's what they're calling it now, they're using you, Shad, as the epitome of what could happen. You're the Hall of Fame, right?
No, literally, they have way bigger deals there than me.
Okay.
I'm definitely not the guy to be the face of Lyric Opera. But I recently had a great experience with them doing the Mikado just about I guess it's probably 10 years ago. But
recently, 10 years. That's so young.
I know. You get to a certain age.
We've got to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the show. I'd like to find out from you, because for the rest of us, I don't care how much you practiced, how much how many rehearsals you had ahead of time. Good God, the fear of forgetting a line. What do you do with that, and where do we go? We'll talk about that with Shad Hanley right after this. He's with the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, and they're doing Guys and Dolls, and I'm telling you, you got to go experience that whole place. We'll talk more about that after this.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters proudly presents Guys and Dolls, packed with comedy, romance, dazzling dance numbers, and unforgettable characters. This Tony Award-winning Best Musical takes you from the gritty streets of New York to the colorful cafes of Havana. It's a high-rolling musical spectacular everyone will love. Don't wait. Visit ChanhassenDT.com and grab your tickets today. Guys and Dolls, Chanhassen Dinner Theaters, always entertaining you.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
And we've got him, Shad Hanley. He put the guys in Guys and Dolls at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Shad, you are the lead, right? If
Yeah, Guy Masterson.
All right, Sky Masterson. You get this, it's a big part, and not that you haven't been on stage before, but you must go through that panic I did plays in high school, and I still dream of the time, that I forgot a line, that I'm running up there. I still have that. That's like my weird dream, and that's 60 years ago. So you must have that. Tell me you do, because otherwise I might hate you.
Oh, no. Okay, literally, just this. So we just had our first audience for Guys and Dolls this past Friday. And this is technically our preview week before we really open this coming Friday. Okay. And already I have been sitting in my dressing room and hear a pause on stage and realize, that's me! And I go running out of the dressing room. This has already happened. And I biff it on the stairs. I go careening across the backstage area on my knees, which are still skinned up, and somehow make it on stage that no one really noticed that I hadn't said anything yet. It was that fast, but dangerous and seriously traumatic for me.
So you go through that. You still do, right? I mean, how many plays have you been in? Do you keep track? Is that a numbers?
No, I don't keep track, but just did Jersey Boys at Chanhassen not too long ago, and it was one of those things where there's a big reveal when you find out that the Jersey Boys were the Four Seasons.
Okay.
And, it was up to me to say, one day we're this and one day we're that. We're calling ourselves a bunch of different names, band names. Yeah. And the one name I can't say is the Four Seasons, which is, of course, the name that I say. Well, then we're the Four Seasons. And then there's a big reveal of it just in the next scene. So and then once I do it once, it's going to keep happening. So it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Don't think of the pink elephant. Don't think of the pink elephant.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah. Is there one moment is your worst ever on stage? Anything that just says, if I never do that again, that'd be great?
Honestly, it's got to be the Four Seasons thing from
Okay.
Jersey Boys, just because it was such a plot point, and when you give it away so early, and then it happened like 3 or 4 times. There used to be a thing at Chanhassen where they called it, they get a little piggy bank, and you
Okay.
can get the focus pig. So if you've messed up, you have to put your name on the pig. So I got it many times during Jersey Boys.
Wow. Okay, that's got to be scary. And a lot of dance. If you're the lead, I presume you're dancing a ton on this, right? Isn't there a lot of dancing for this show?
Okay,
For
yeah,
you?
a lot of dancing in this show, and I do this much of it.
Oh.
So very little of it, because he's just too cool for that. And the ensemble is giving. The ensemble is dancing their booties off. It's incredible.
So you've been there. You've been there for the last 6 years, going I guess on 6 years. You've been doing this a lot in New York and the rest. Who is this for? If you were going to give me the 30-second pitch to get someone to come to see Guys and Dolls, other than your family, and it's me on stage, I get that. Sell me on why Guys and Dolls is the one you should probably come and see if you haven't been to the theater like me in years.
Yeah, it's so easy. First of all, Guys and Dolls is just like the quintessential Broadway musical that you gotta see it. But I think especially you need to see it at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater because of the experience. It's not just going to the theater, and it's not even like going to a restaurant and then going to the theater. When you have it all in one space, the experience is completely different. You haven't. It's its own thing. The building is sort of like this cool, crazy old lodge.
Yeah.
Your place when you walk in, you go in, you get seated, you order your chicken chan or whatever you want to get. You get your drinks, you watch Act 1. There's a 20-minute intermission where you get your chocolate cake or whatever you want. You know what I mean? And then you go for Act 2. It's just the most charming experience that if you're looking for like a date, it's so good for dates, for a family event, for anything. Like it's just if you just want to commune with strangers, get into a room with a bunch of people who are all there for the same thing, who all just want a great night out. It's like it's its own thing. And I think that's what's so cool about it.
I don't want to put you in a bad spot if this doesn't happen. I probably shouldn't ask. But like with Shelby and Nelson, they stuck around after, right? We all clapped. It was good. They left, dramatic ending. Yeah. And then they came back. And to watch that crowd sit there and chat and ask some questions. Do you all do that sort of thing? You got to stay in character. Are you allowed to do that, or you just would never get to leave the theater, I presume?
Yeah, it's mostly that. We don't do a Q&A, question and answer session afterwards, but a lot of us do leave the building through the lobby with the audience, which is kind of funny because they don't realize that we're walking with them, as you walk in this herd of people, and someone will turn and like recognize my newly blonde hair, and which is fun. It's so fun to talk to the people afterwards and get their experience and just.
Do you see a difference between Minnesota people and the New Yorkians and stuff? I know you like the trees, but is there a difference just in the way we treat the theater?
Absolutely. There's a appreciation for it here that is very different than the expectation of it maybe in New York. Does that make sense? Oh, I feel most meaningful doing theater here where I'm doing it.
Oh, love that. All right, let's get people to get there. It's chanhassendt.com, chanhassendt.com. You can go there. I probably shouldn't share this. If you go there, you can pick your tables, which evidently, like I said, my wife's been going now. There's this director seating something or other she found that was just off the charts. It's like your own little viewing. Go there, look around. Don't just sign up. Go look around where you want to sit. You've got booths, which is an interesting view. Evidently, the small tables, you get it all. You can decide what you want. You get to meet fine people like Shad. Do you know what the next one is, or just because this is just starting? Are you guys? How do you do this? As you get to the end of this run, you start rehearsals for the next, or you guys already know what the next one is? Where are you at on the lineup?
This is insane. First of all, I do know what's next, but I don't know I'm allowed to say it.
That's fair.
No, but what we just did was White Christmas, and I was in that too. So we go through what we call double duty, 3 weeks of doing rehearsals for Guys and Dolls by day and performances of White Christmas by night. So I had in my mind, and so I was playing this like sort of side character, Ralph Sheldrake in White Christmas, but I was understudying the lead, Michael Gruber, in the Bing Crosby role of Bob Wallace. So I had my own track in my mind, I had his track in my mind, and Guys and Dolls in my mind, and it was for my little pea brain, that was a lot. So I was really
That
glad
is-
when White Christmas ended so that I could just focus on Guys and Dolls, which we can.
But if you and nothing gets got as that gets nearing its end, you're already going to be looking at the next one and trying out for that. And wow,
Yeah. We've already auditioned for the next one, and that's already all set. So
it's a stereotype that you guys got a lot going on in your heads, you actors, but there might be something to it if you're doing 3-4 different characters at one time. And
words, man, it's a lot of words.
Shad, I'm out of time. I appreciate you a ton. Good luck with the show. My wife and I will be up there because I tell you, it is an experience that people have to have. It is.
Yeah, man, let me know when you're there. I want to see you.
All right, sounds like a plan. Shad, thank you very much. Shad Hanley with the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, chanhassendt.com. It's Guys and Dolls.